What's up, everybody? Akasun here with your Saturday morning soapbox. Is that what I'm calling it? I don't remember nowadays. So look at the monks behind me. Let me see if I can get to a quieter area. So I guess today I was going to talk about people beefs, like internet beefs, YouTube beefs, and shit like that, and how I never get involved with them, respond to them. I thought about it, and I'm gonna still think about it, see if I really wanted to get into that so much, because because if anything, it's kind of hypocritical to talk about not getting involved with beefs and things like that, but then make a video about it, right? But in short, too old for that shit. Let's leave it at that. Instead, here's what I'm gonna talk about. What I'm gonna talk about here is conversations, dialogues. There's something I really appreciate about the Red Dreaded Nation, and just even the haters that come to my site, even the haters that come to my channel to bitch and complain or whatever about me bitching and complaining. The one thing I have noticed is the fact that we do get outside of anywhere else of YouTube, I notice, at least for me, is that we actually do get into some very long, thought-provoking subjects. And of course, with the internet, you're gonna have things where if people don't like your way or your idea, they'll be like, fuck you, nigga, die, like that, right? Drink, beat, bleach, bitch, kill yourself. But no. What I've noticed with the Red Dreaded Nation for some reason is anytime there is something that really does go down, yeah, we're gonna have the occasional young child that trolls or whatever, can't see the other side. But overall, I have noticed, especially when it comes to movies and the discussion of Batman versus Superman and Man of Steel, the DCCU. Is that what they're calling it? Or is it just called the DCU? No, DCCU, right? DC Cinematic Universe, yeah. Anyways, when it comes to that, most of the time, there are very respectful opinions, and people, even though they may not agree with my stance on the direction that the DCCU is going, with Snyder being just in love with Frank Miller and basing it upon the groundworks of things, but you know, even today I was watching some documentary on some shit where it's like Frank Miller, god of comics, and like they're starting, in a sense, I almost feel like DC is trying to treat him like the Stan Lee of the DCCU, like the way Marvel has Stan Lee representing his movies. Sometimes they need Frank Miller on the DCCU section. I don't know, but that documentary rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, okay, you know, he's not the only dude that had influence with Batman. It's like, this dude isn't the personally, in my opinion, his Batman is by far the opposite of the definitive Batman. It might have been the popular Batman that ushered in a new era, and for that I will forever be grateful. But again, All-Star Batman and Robin. That should be more than enough to explain the issue with his Batman. Same thing with Grant Morrison. He does great Batman stories, but if you actually look at his concept, his ideal thought is that Batman is gay, like, or at least has like homosexual traits, because of the fact that he has wards and Robins, and you know, I could have taken that quote, misquoted that a bit, but nah, Grant Morrison's a little off about that. So I don't want to believe that that's, you know, a writer is only as good as that moment in time. So especially when they're hot about it, you know, look at Kanye West as a creator. Young Kanye West was on fire, but now it's just crazy, right? But here's what I'm going to say about the whole conversation thing with the Red Dreaded Nation. I think we give some of the best elongated conversations, and we really care about the craft that is put out for us. And again, I think the majority of people, fans or not, of my channel will look, they listen, and then they try to counter or agree and understand certain points that I make, especially with the hypocriticalness of the fandoms, that fans aren't loyal. You know, 2 years ago they were riding Nolan's dick, riding Whedon's dick, and now they're saying, man, Whedon fucking sucks. I can't wait for the Russo brothers to tear this up. Fuck, Nolan sucks. I can't wait for Snyder to get it just like the comics, right? So, I think some people understood my point about the hypocriticalness of that. I guess the point, I'm going to ask you guys here for this Saturday Soapbox is, I think at one point, and this is something I've been thinking about with the fact that the first reviews of Batman v Superman that came in said that BVS might be just as polarizing, if not more, than MOS was, in terms of the fact that people are going to be divided upon their opinion. And you know, for me, that's a huge disappointment, because I just wanted this shit to be over. I wanted the comparisons with Marvel to stop, because I've never looked at the two like, oh shit, this one has to be better than the other one. No, I just want these to be good. I just want these stories to be good and not settle for less, you know, especially with the TDK. The TDK trilogy, Batman left on the highest notes. This isn't like Batman and Robin. But the Batman franchise has left on the highest note ever. There should be no undersatisfactory of substance. I mean, some people just want it just so they can have it, but for me, they got to continue to, if a torch is being passed, you got to make sure you fly to the sky, basically. And I suppose, so I'm very disappointed in the fact that if it's going to be polarizing, that in my mind, that means that it's going to not be overwhelmed. It's not going to be an overwhelming success in terms of a successful movie, in terms of like, people won't be able to look at it and be like, look, even though I don't like the movie, it's still a damn good movie. From what I took out of that review is the fact that some people are really gonna really love it, and some people are really gonna hate it, just like Man of Steel, and we're gonna have to sit through another 2 years or whatever till the next Justice League movie. And I don't think that's actually the greatest ground. It's gonna be shaky ground yet again, and I think sooner or later, people that really aren't interested in those movies will just lose interest in those movies. I sometimes feel like that with Sony. I feel like that with Sony is the fact that if Sony keeps on making shitty movies, people are just going to be done with them. Or Fox. That's another thing with Fox. Like, look how the returns on Fantastic Four. It's like people will just start losing interest altogether in superhero movies. I felt that way when the first Fantastic Four movie came out. Like, overall, the superhero stuff will just become so saturated. And if you keep on putting out enough polarizing movies, the general audience is just the general audience doesn't care. The general audience doesn't get polarized. They either go see the movie or they don't, if it's popular or not. But if you can't get a popular straightaway movie on, if you're just going to be focusing again on a niche audience that's just into something because it's homaging to a popular storyline but has no substance, i.e. The Dark Knight Returns, then if you're only just going to be doing homages, yeah, that is a niche audience. It's because only a few people are going to get that, or only those that read the comic book are going to get it, compared to actually just making a good story. I don't know. That's another story, I guess, for another day. But I guess what I'm going to ask you guys, question here for the Soapbox Saturday, is what do you think? Do you think these arguments, these discussions, is actually overall good for the industry? Is it good for conversation? Is it good for just people to talk about? I don't know actually, because I'm actually not like, if I'm really not looking forward to another year or so. Like, the best part about Batman v Superman finally coming out for me was the fact that people could finally shut up and the speculation would be over, basically, and finally we would stop having arguments about it, and it would be like, look, it's either going to be really good or it's going to be really bad, and it's either going to be like, oh shit, we finally have something to compete, or we actually have a nice bookend, a nice friendly competition, a nice alternative to superhero movies other than Marvel franchises, or we're going to be like, well, fuck, this shit has just finally become the WCW of movies and shit. So let me know what you guys think about all that. If these conversations are good or bad for the business, and what do you prefer to happen after next month when BVS comes out? All right, take care of yourselves, guys. Bye.